I'm live. One day I'll get this. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. This is Lorelia. And today is the start, as we have been told throughout the country, throughout the world, that it is going to be a new year. If you have gotten this far in life, today marks what they say, day one of 365 days. And I know I put a status update on Facebook saying that this is um, the start of a new year and make the days count. So, what am I going to talk about today? I'm hoping that my screen, you all can see me. Yes. Okay, looks good. So, what am I talking about today? As the title says, 45-day game plan for better credit. And what do I mean by that? So, last night, a friend of mine sent me a YouTube video of Tony Robbins. If you don't know who Tony Robbins is, he is a basically a guru. And it's so funny. I shouldn't say guru because he has a movie that says I'm not your guru. But anyway, he's very known in the personal development space. And I didn't watch the whole video because the video was like 30 minutes long, but I did watch, at least the first 15 minutes. And one of the pivotal things that he mentioned in the video was that by people will make resolutions today, meaning January 1st. Some may have even started in December. But he said that um, by the time January 15th comes, most people who have made those resolutions um, will um, will have already broken them. And so that is why I wanted to make this video, or should I say this live. I'm doing it very early in the day, and I know most people um, won't get to see it live. But the point of why I'm making this video is to share with you how you can make a short term goal and truly do meet that short term goal. Now, the reason why I gave it 45 days, because when it comes to your credit, as you are disputing things, whether it's with the credit bureau, a creditor, what have you, legally, both parties have 30 days to respond to you. So, of course, I couldn't make this, a 15-day game plan because legally you just couldn't get started in 15 days. But if you decided today, if one of your resolutions was, I am going to rebuild my credit, increase my credit score. And if you started today and you gave yourself 45 days, so by the time February 15th came, would you had already met the goal? And the reason why, I'm giving it 45 days because if you're serious, meaning tonight you start, tonight is the night that you will begin your journey. Now, however you decide to do that, whether it is to, hire someone, do it yourself, start today. Now, I want to point out when as I do this video, and the reason why I want to point this out, I'm going to go um, into my Facebook group. And the point of me going in the group is to really point out as you go on your journey how important it is to stay consistent. I talked about that in the last live. Is that the reason why a lot of people don't get results with their credit is because they want microwave results. They're looking at this method, looking at that method, as opposed to gaining the knowledge and skill. And I've said in many videos in the past that knowledge and skill is not popular. It's easy for me to promote. It's easy for me to promote. Oh, don't learn nothing, and magically you can get into the 800 club. And that's why I truly say that my message is only for those who truly want to understand how this industry works and how the game and the law works, so they will never become a financial victim again. But if you look at this email, and I shared it in the group, my Facebook group, back in November. This was a lady that had reached out to me in early part of the year of 2017, and November, as you can see, if you see November 16th right here, she had got a bankruptcy removed. Now, just to give you a little background, she was successful after talking to me when we had our consultation early part of the year of getting it removed off Experian and TransUnion. But as you can see, Equifax was giving her some problems. And so finally she got that one removed. And this was in November. And see, this is the unsexy part about this industry that no one wants to talk about, is that some results are not going to be fast. So as you make that 45-day plan for yourself, what a lot of people go wrong with is that they make the plan too big. And so if they're in the 500 club or the 400 club, they think in 45 days or 60 days, for some magical reason, they're going to be in a 700 club. And see, what happens is you set yourself up for disappointment. And so when you set yourself up in disappointment, you become what Tony Robbins talked about in that video my girlfriend shared with me, of one of those who made eliminating debt, increasing your credit score, a goal that you wanted to accomplish, but you didn't accomplish. And that's why I'm here to tell you, make very small goals. If you're in the 400 club, I know it's not fancy. It's not, because you can't do much with 500 credit score, but work towards getting into the 500 club. And if you're in the 500 club, work to getting to the 600 club, because the best thing that you can do for yourself is to give yourself momentum. How do you give yourself momentum? Is by doing small things to gain a big result. And like I said, that's not a very popular message to give people, because most people are looking for, tell me the magic letter, tell me the magic strategy that's going to take me to 400 to 800. Now, I was sitting around thinking today when I was, deciding on putting together this live. And it was a book that came to when I started thinking about momentum. It is a book that I had bought some years ago. I think it was in 2014, 2015. And it's a great book for anyone who is starting the new year. Name of the book is The Compound Effect. Now, I don't get any proceeds or anything from this book. And it's not one of those, and I know you may be thinking, oh, is it one of those resolution type books? It's not one of those resolution type books, but it is a book that I believe individuals should read if they are in the beginning of something, in the beginning of starting something. Because in the beginning, that's why I said momentum is so great. In the beginning, you're not seeing momentum. And see, that is what this book talks about, is that doing small things that create big results. And see, many people, like I said, is the unsung stuff that's not talked about in this industry. Um, that small successes are good. But see, the problem is that people want very huge successes. I'm in the 500s. Um, give me the magic bullet that's going to get me in the 800s or the 700s. And that's why, if you truly do want results, give yourself a shorter time span and give yourself a smaller goal. And that small goal can be, I just want to get one line item off of my credit report, one derogatory item off of my credit report. And the reason why I know, because it is a strategy that I put in place many moons ago. And I keep saying, because I did find it, and I think I may have did a video about it before, but I came across the levy slip that I got from the bank when a debt collector had levied my bank account. I still have it. And I came across it as I was clearing things out, purging old papers and everything. And I said, I'm going to save this. And this is what, I like to say what young people call the receipts. I want to be able to show receipts. So I want to show you. But at that time, with no YouTube, no social media, internet was still dial up. AOL was probably the main search engine or Excite. Um, and I remember as I started my journey, the only thing I wanted to do at that time, school wasn't even on my radar. And when I find out when I come across this stuff and remember, because I have it, I got to remember to have it, close to me when I do one of these videos, so I can show you. The only goal I had was to understand how was it that a debt collector was able to levy my bank account without me knowing that they were going to do it. I didn't know that there were laws out there. I didn't know that there were laws that protected me. All I wanted to know, because I knew it had to be somewhere, because the secret that a lot of people won't share with you is that most things are in a book. That's why I recommended this book. Like I said, I don't get any proceeds. You can get the book, I believe, on Amazon. I probably put a link after this video is over for you to buy it. But I don't get no proceeds. I don't know the author or anything, but it's a great book. Someone shared it with me to tell me to read it, and I did read it. But most of the things that you want to find out in life have to do with a book, and I was always told that growing up. And so I said, well, as I started my journey with me trying to find this out, um, I said if I read more books, do more research, I'll eventually find out how this, was able to happen. Understand how this credit thing works. Because at that time, you know, I didn't understand the big impact that credit had. I mean, my mother was very good with managing her credit, and although she, told me about the pitfalls, some of us are just hard headed. Kind of wanted to find out for myself, and then I did find out for myself. So, um, like I said, at that time, I didn't even know what a credit score was. So I didn't enter this with saying, okay, and I'm not here to say that my way is the way that people should look at it, but the problem that I'm seeing when I get people who call me up, people who want services from me, or people who are just trying to learn this, their goal is so big. Even people who are looking for services, it's like, people, their scores could be in the 400 and the 500s, and it's like it'll be like 30 days have passed, like, okay, is anything improved? Like it's like people got like 20 derogatory or 20 plus more derogatory accounts, and then they're wondering in 30 days is it all disappeared? And and that's a very it's a very wrong way of looking at things, because it's not how it goes. And that's why I think a lot of people do not get results, and that's why people go from this person to that person, looking for those speedy results. And that's why I say individuals that stick with me, with listening to what I have to say, and what I teach, will get results. Now they're not fancy, um, but this is what I always guarantee to people, is that if you arm yourself with knowledge, with understanding how this information works, even if you were to get bad credit again, you will be able to get out of it because you have the knowledge. So now that I've talked about that, I want to go to another topic. And that topic has to do with another post that I posted back in December. It said about New Year's approaching, what's holding you back with your personal credit and getting out of debt. And I had a lady, Miss Turner, who said having the funds to catch up in order to get back on track. I'm currently working on changing that and praying to be back on track by the middle of January. And so once again, and this is not to make a mockery, but of what she said, but she made a good point. She said, now everybody wants to call. She said that she's working on changing that and praying to be back on track. So another another thing that happens in the new year is that when we're making these goals, oh, I'm praying that I get out of debt. I'm praying. It's one of the most popular, you know, resolutions, that losing weight, closer to God, um, better relationship with, significant other, kids, or what have you. And with the money thing being one of the, the top 10 or the top five, the one thing that she said was that praying. And then, the Bible says, prayer without works is dead. So now that, if you're one of those people and you got prayer down pat, like, ooh, yes, I got prayer down pat. I am going to pray this away. I'm going to share with you a very quick strategy that you can put in place that can render you results in 45 days. And if you get this wrong, and this is what most people do, and this is why people won't get results. If this is what you're currently doing, now if you're looking at my screen right now, I have a box and it says one bank account. This is what most people do. I'm gonna try to get fancy on y'all. But this is what most people do. They got this one bank account. And in that bank account, they're trying to do everything and anything with it. And so the one thing that they're trying to do is bill paying. They're trying to pay bills with this one bank account. And I'm going to tell you right now, if this is what you're doing, and your goal is that you want to pay down some debt or whatever, but this is a strategy you put in place. This is a strategy that I get paid, I got one checking account, and I'm paying bills. The likelihood of you being able to change your financial situation is slim to none. Slim to none. And the reason how I know, because you may have did it in 2017 and it garnered you no results. And I'm here to show you a different way for you to approach this. So now you have this, you already had the boxes. So you have the main checking account. Okay, now everything is frozen. The main checking account. And you get paid, who knows, I don't know, 1,200 every 2 weeks. So instead of doing, I get paid and I just pay bills, let's just focus on the income. And I'll do another video to talk about the debt. But I want to get this one down pat. You should have another bank account that's just for paying the bills. And The reason why is because it gives you better clarity. Now you can go to your bank and open up another. Now remind you, it has to be a checking account. So I know you may be saying, "Oh, I have another account, a savings account." No, it has to be checking because remember, you're paying bills out of it, and so you need to have another checking account. And many banks allow you to name the checking account what you want. Now, I always say, don't name it bill checking account because unfortunately, the word bills for some people, most people are not at the level of growth that bills cause a lot of pain. Yeah, it is what it is because your money's going out. So once you get that other checking account, you want to give it a name. Now, I like to call it a freedom account. Now, it's not it remind you, it's just you can give it any name you want, but I like to give names that provide that doesn't provide a level of pain. So most of the time when people think in freedom, they know they're going to be free of something. What am I going to be free of? I'm going to be free of those bills. And so if a person, and now remind you, you do what works for you. But if you only put 10%, remind you, this is your net pay. I should put that up here, net. So this is what you bring home, not gross. This is your net. This is what you cashing out at. If you only put 10% of that every week, or however you get paid, the frequency, that would be 120. 120. So now if you got paid twice a week in a month, that would be in some months. And I don't have a January calendar, but looking at December, if you got paid every 2 weeks, you got paid two times in the month of December. So in 1 month, you would have $240. Now, remind you, this bank account is only a bank account that you would pay bills out of. $240 goes back to what I said can provide you with momentum. You see what I'm saying? So now you no longer have to figure out because what happens is most people get paid on Friday, money gone by Sunday, trying to figure how to make ends meet the next week and the week after for that next payday. Because what happens is that you got one bank account and that bank account is for everything. It's paying the bills, it's doing this, it's doing that, it's doing this. So imagine if you do the number that works for you, whether you want to do a dollar amount or a percentage. But if I did a percentage, I'm showing you that of that 1,200, I'm automatically going to have this set up. I'm not going to have to go online and physically uh, switch this money over. I'm going to have this money to automatically go into the account. Within 1 month, I got $240. Within 2 months, I have $480. Imagine how many bills. So if you had a goal, because the lady said in the post, I want to get rid of debt. Imagine you had all your debts written down. And this is I'm in this video, I'm not really gonna go into the type of debts, but let's say these are debts that you paid off. Because I always say all debts aren't created equal, and you pay some debts, you can get into a jam. But I'm going to say for the record, because I know this is YouTube, if you pay all the bills you want, if you feel like in your heart of hearts that you want to pay a bill, you go ahead and pay a bill because I don't want nobody saying Lorelia told people don't pay no bills. So with me knowing all bills ain't treated are not treated equally, I don't know the type of bills the lady is mentioning in the post that she wants to pay. but she wants to get out of debt. Now, what I would recommend is that all the debts be written down from smallest to largest, largest to smallest. But let's start small to large. If the smallest debt is like $350 or what have you, or whatever the case may be, one bill can be knocked out if it was at least 300. You see what I'm saying? So now you can give yourself a timeline. Because if you remember, we've named this account Freedom Account. This account is going to get us debt free. You can call it a debt free account. You call it what you want it. It remind all I'm saying is that name is something that's not gonna bring you no pain. You can call it a debt free account, but my thing is this, and I've said in other videos, um, freedom debt free is relative to your income. Case in point, had a good friend I went to high school with. We're still connected on Facebook. And she said, and we already talked, so she'll mind me saying this. She said, well, I'm going into 2018, because at that time it was 2017, the day before. I'm going into 2018 debt free. Unfortunately, she lost her wallet December 30th. And of course, whoever got her wallet went on a shopping spree. So just that quick, you go from being debt free to now being back in debt. Like I said, I've been doing this long enough. I know being debt free is relative to many factors. Many factors. So, like I said, that's an abbreviated version of a story. But like I said, many of these things that I'm talking about are really on a very high level. Your situation has to be tailored. So, be very mindful of that, because I think a lot of times people watch these videos of mine and they want to cookie cutter them. And this is to just give you an awareness of something. But what I just showed you is a strategy that can be put in place. It can be put in place. It's not a prayer. This is something that you can actually do now. You can actually do this now, and it can work. Not going back to what I said. If you do this strategy, one checking account and bill paying, the bills ain't gonna never get paid. Because what happens is that you have a bill paying, you gotta pay bills. Because remember, all debts aren't created equal. So now you got the bills that are due, and then you have the bills that are past due, and then you have, and I outlined that, you know, let me grab it. I outlined that in my book. I say that. You got the bills that are due. Then you got the bills that are past due. Then you got charged off debts. So that's why I say all debts aren't created equal. But see, when you have that main bank account, what bills are you paying? Because then you could just have the bills that you just need to just survive. Lady didn't, in the post, the lady didn't say, are those the rent bills? Is the mortgage bills? Is the house? Is it the car note? The children's tuition? So that's what I'm saying. You can get very creative with these bank accounts and have different bank accounts for different allotments for your life. But if you're operating from the standpoint of, I have one bank account, and from this one bank account, I am looking for a prayer. That is that is a setup um, that will gain you no results. And what happens is you will be like Tony Robbins. In 15 days, you can't see how you're going to get yourself out of this matter. So that was something that I wanted to talk about. Um, and so um, that's really the only thing that I have to say about that. in terms of 2018 is that if getting out of debt, increasing your credit score is something that you decided you wanted to do, then you have to have a strategy that works. And prayer for Christians or people who believe in the word, we have that down pat. Got that down pat. But now you got to do the actions with it. And like I said, this is a strategy, one of many very top level strategy, but it's a strategy to help you. And one thing I said, like I said in the first slide, if you are doing the one checking account and bill paying, the likelihood of that, because like I said, 2017, I'm going to talk a lot about it in 2018, is the importance of why you need more. And I just want to touch back on the why the compound effect is so good in terms of um uh just want to go on this website. I mean, show you something. um this right here is a post that I added on my Facebook page regarding dividends that have been paid to me. There's an app called the Stash app, and and I started in 2017 putting allotments of money into this app. And what happens is that what you do is you invest in different types of funds. And so as I did it, the fund started to build up money, and what happened was that the funds that I chose paid out dividends. Now there are many funds in this app, so I don't know if they all pay. I know I'm invested in three types, and I know all three that I'm in they pay out dividends. But the point that I want to make, and why I bring this up, because you may be wondering what does that have to do with what I talked about, is the importance of starting something and seeing momentum. And it goes back to what I showed with the bank account. If you took a percentage of your paycheck, put it away, you would get momentum. And that is what I did. So as I got momentum, the payoff started to happen in the month of December. As you can see, I got dividend payments four times in a month from something that I put away, and I started to reap the rewards. So once again, that is all I have to say. If you want to stay on my communication list, please go to my blog at www.yourmoneymentor.com. If you go right here, you can download the first half of my book for free. Just give me about a week or so. Things are still being worked on in regards to websites. Software is still available if you need it. The credit dispute software. Just send me an email. All the links will be below. And this is Lorelia, and I am signing off.